everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for this video today. Today's video is going to be all about a palette that I purchased at Sephora. It is the one and only Huda Beauty palette. Here it is. So it's officially called the Huda Beauty Textured Shadows Palette Rose Gold Edition. Yes, very long name. As you can see here on the front of the palette, you have Huda's beautiful eyes and her gorgeous eyebrows, which are her signature. You'll see those, her pretty eyes on her like lash packaging and everything as well. So this palette, a very big price point. It retails for $65 at Sephora. So that's quite a chunk of money. So let's kind of get into whether or not I think this is worth the $65. So let's slide it out. So that's just kind of the cardboard packaging out front. That's just the sleeve. So inside here is the palette itself. This palette contains 18 shades, several different finishes. Let me read the finishes to you. So you get deep mattes, 3D metals, and pressed pearls. It says these are highly pressed pigments, no talc, and stunning application. So that is the description on the back. So I have to say, I've had this palette for a few days. I've used it 3 different times because I wanted to make sure I could give you my honest review and I wanted to give it a fair shot. So I've seen several different pictures on Instagram of gorgeous looks that were created with this palette. So it really intrigued me. And I've seen several different videos on YouTube about it as well. So I said, well, let me just kind of see for myself. I had the opportunity to purchase one at Sephora, so I figured let me grab it. It was the last one. Let's see what this is really about. So on my eyes today, I did use this palette. I do love the look that came out of it. I think it's very, very pretty. So I used this shade right here, Shy. Here we go, Shy. I started with that one, just kind of like blended through the crease. And then I used Bossy as my next kind of transition blending shade. And so on the outside, on my outer V here, I used Black Truffle, just because you know your girl loves to add a little smoke to every look. And then I used Angelic right here. I used that packed all over the lid. So pretty look, I think that came out of it. But $65, I got to go with a no way on this one. Let's start with the packaging. Okay, that's my first issue. It is so light and so flimsy and so, for lack of a better word, cheap feeling. I just can't with this. I honestly expected more from Huda than this. This is not even, it's cardboard, yes, but it feels more like, if I'm being honest, notebook paper. This palette is the flimsiest palette I own, which I won't be owning this for long because I am going to return this and go get my $65 back, plus tax, thank you very much. So I have my receipt right here. I paid $70.36 for this. No, going back. As you can see on my palette, which I've just had it for a few days, there is texture, it is puckling. The glue, like this is already peeling apart. It is literally falling apart. Whatever glue that they use to stick this together, this palette is completely separating. Like, look at this. This is by no means kit friendly. You cannot spray down or disinfect these shades because this paper will probably dissipate in your hands if you try to clean this. There is no mirror. Of course, you just get this little clear plastic topper. In all honesty, the lid of this is so cheap and papery. If you put a mirror in this, I don't even think it could support the weight of a mirror. I do not like to come on YouTube and bash products because people work so hard, you know, to release something that they're proud of. But I just, in all honesty, cannot understand why or how this packaging like got through production and got to be just out there in the world in people's hands. Just not happy with this packaging at all. Now the shades inside. So this top row of shades, these are going to be those 3D metals that you're going to be using your finger with. They do not recommend that you use a brush with these because you're not going to get the color payoff that is intended. You're not going to get that intensity out of the shade. So I'm going to swatch a few of them for you. Let's start with Dubai, Fling, and 24 Karat. Now, as you can see, just from my finger swatching, these are very, very gooey. There's a lot of product, almost, I guess you could say it's kick up around in the pan there. And here they are on my fingers. Let's let that focus for a second. Then I'm going to give them a swatch across my hand. So here we are. As you can see, the shades are very, very pretty, very pigmented, but are they smooth? That is the thing. They are not smooth. This 24 karat shade, as you can see, it's got some chunkiness kind of around my finger. You really have to work hard to really press that down and smooth that out. And you just don't want to be that harsh on your eyelid. So just very pretty and pigmented, but I would not say this is a smooth, easy to work with texture by any means. Let me grab a wet wipe. I'm going to swatch the next three, which is going to be Rose Gold, Trust Fund, and then the shade Angelic, which is actually on my lids right now. Okay, so let's tap into this Rose Gold, Trust Fund, and then Angelic. Angelic is a beautiful shade. I'd say it is one of those that's more like that pearl shade. Sorry, my hair is like really doing funky things today. I don't know what's going on, but whatever. So here we go. So we've got the Rose Gold, we've got Trust Fund, and then Angelic right there on top. Beautiful shades. I would say Angelic went on the smoothest, but as you can see, still quite a bit of kick up. And they do recommend fingers, and I'm using this with my finger, but you definitely are going to have to press kind of hard to really get that to melt into your eyelid when you are using these shades. So not the most practical thing, I would say. There is one more of that type of formula. It is the shade Blessed, which is right here. So I'm going to give you a swatch of that. And there is the shade Blessed. That one, I have to say, out of all those textured shades at the top, went on the smoothest, the easiest. As you can see, it doesn't have any of that kick up, gooiness, or gumminess that some of the other ones display. It's very, very pretty shade. I wish they all performed like that one right there. So next, let's get into some of these matte shades. Now, the matte shades I found very powdery, very dusty. I'm just not satisfied with this palette. I'm not that person that just, returns makeup and things like that. But when something just is not working out, you got to call a spade and, So here we go. Here is Bossy, Flamingo, and then Shy right at the top. There we go. Now with finger swatch, it goes on really nice. It looks really pretty. You don't have a ton of issues, but when you put your brush into one of these, it kicks up so much. It kicks up so much. I'd be afraid about how much product I was wasting. I would think I would hit pan pretty quickly because of the amount of kick up that happens. There's a couple of shades on the bottom that even with the finger swatch, it kicks up dust with the finger swatch. So next up we have Bay, Moon Dust, and Black Truffle. I'll swatch those three next. Bay is one of those that kicks up dust even with the finger swatch. And Black Truffle, as you can see, it just, it's so weak. It is really, really weak. It's weak, it's patchy. Look how patchy and weak that black is. Just even to blend it on my outer V, it took a lot of work to even blend that soft kind of smokiness right there. These, you do have to just build and build and build to try to get the color payoff that you want out of these mattes. So next up, I'm going to swatch. Let's see here. Sorry, got to clean my hands in between. I don't want to touch the palette too much after I use the wet wipe because the powder is the packaging is so flimsy. I don't want it to puckle any more than it already has. So we're going to do Suede, Cocoa, which is so dusty with the, I have to let you see this. When you even try to finger swatch this shade Cocoa right here, look how much dust and powder kicks up. You can't even finger swatch it. So imagine when you stick your brush in there, it literally goes everywhere. It gets dust all in the rest of your colors. I just do not understand this. And Maneater, the same thing. Look at the dust from just swirling your finger in it, just trying to do a swatch. Look at all the dust that kicks up. It's just ridiculous to me. This literally makes no sense. The color payoff just on these, still not there. Very patchy. Normally finger swatches, that's how you can technically trick someone. You can do an amazing finger swatch, but then when you start blending things with a brush, you kind of see where it gets muddy or it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. But these, the proof is in the pudding. Even in the finger swatches, they're just not, they're just not worth a flip. I honestly hate to be that way because I am not a negative person. I respect everybody's hard work, but man, we as consumers, we work too hard for our money to drop $65 on something that's just not worth our money. So the last two shades are Henna and Sandalwood. Let me swatch those for you. Sandalwood, another powdery kind of mess, just like Cocoa was. There's Henna and Sandalwood, which are these last two right here on the corner. Just mediocre, that's it. I would say these are mediocre transition shades. They are not things that you probably don't already own. And honestly, you probably have better versions in your collection of these shades anyway. So like, I'm literally at a loss for words. I'm trying to like find words to describe how disappointed I am in this. I mean, just take a look at this. I mean, just how the powder kick up gets all around the packaging itself. Just all the puckling. And this is enough right here. It is literally falling apart after, what, 3-4 days, it's falling apart. The powder kick up. What happens is when you dip your brush into it, so much powder kicks up that it gets trapped inside of here, which all that powder ends up getting inside of the glue. It ends up getting inside of where the glue is, and it loosens up the glue, the kick up from the eyeshadow. It gets all stuck in there. It is just, these at the top, as you can see, almost feel like a slight kind of gooey mess. And then the mattes, the powder kick up, the color payoff is not there. This, I gotta say, hard pass. I have to say I am going to get my $70 back as soon as possible. I will be heading to my Sephora on my way to work to basically drop this back off where I got it from. That is the Huda Beauty palette. If you're headed to Sephora and you have saved 65 of your hard-earned dollars, I would have to say, check out the Kat Von D display and go take a peek at this metal matte palette. Now this is some hard, like, you feel how hard that is. Can you hear how hard that is? Sorry, you can't feel it. It's over here with me. But this is some hard, sturdy cardboard. I have sprayed these shadows down. I have disinfected them with no issues with the cardboard. You get a nice, huge mirror and sturdy cardboard that can support it. You get a ton of product for your money, and you get a ton of good product. You've got mattes. You've got these beautiful, creamy, dimethicone type shades up at the top that have immense color payoff. They do not transfer every which way. I mean, this is $65 worth of product. This is worth my hard-earned 65 bucks. Amazing palette. Just love it. Oh, also I have one other suggestion. If you're looking for a palette with similar shades, similar tones as this one, minus the black, grab the, here we go. Let me reach over and grab it. I would say get this one, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. Now granted, this has like a weird kind of velvety soft touch packaging that gets a little bit dirty, but you know what? I'm okay with it. The cardboard is hard, it's sturdy. This will cost you 42 bucks. It comes with a double-ended brush, which is very, very usable, and as you can see, very similar tones. So this is an absolute great alternative to the Huda Beauty palette. So if you love the colors in here and you're unsure about spending the 65, go check out Anastasia and drop 42, and I think you'll be very, very happy with your purchase. So that is it for my review of the Huda Beauty palette, you guys. I thank you so, so much for watching, and I hope you appreciate my honesty. I hope I wasn't too rough, but I got to keep it 100 for y'all because you guys know I got to keep it real. It is what it is. So thank you so much for joining me for this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care.